Coach. Oh, I think you might still be on mute. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
We can start with in-person questions.
Person questions.
I know I literally just asked you about Shakira yesterday, but post-practice, it's kind of the first time we've seen her, she's getting up and down and things like that. Has she been doing that, or was yesterday a step forward, for lack of a better phrase?
Last couple days, I would say, is a step forward. Tuesday was kind of the first time I saw it with my own eyes, but she's definitely coming along, and kind of now's the test just to make sure we don't have any backward steps, that everything keeps feeling good. She'll see the docs and just make sure she's progressing, and now the process is getting her back to joining the group and giving her more of a natural build up to returning to games. No, I don't have a timeline. I'm hoping it's soon. Yeah.
See, I wouldn't even ask
There
that.
you go.
I know we were talking about this earlier. Every game is important.
Yeah.
You guys treat them all the same and things like that. But at this point in the season, finish line is not that far off in the distance. And coming off of a rough road trip, do you talk about emphasizing things that do you have that kind of conversation between hey, we're starting to hit the road kind of a thing, or is it a thing that everybody kind of knows and not much needs to be said?
I wouldn't say we belabor it. You know what I mean? I think we know it's kind of stretch run time here pretty soon, or now, and we haven't been at home for a while. And when you've lost 3 in a row, you want to get that over with as soon as possible. I think the conversation more the last couple of days, and I mentioned this to you yesterday, is about carrying ourselves the right way, how we act, win or lose, home or away. A Mystics team should look the same. It should look like we're going to compete all the time. We're going to treat our teammates well, that we're going to be connected together and pull together when it's tough and not go separate directions. And as we get home this week, it was just a good time to have that, kind of reset and reminder with everybody of, I told you, and I meant it, that I thought we had done a good job competing no matter the circumstances, and we can't lose sight of that. We got to act like the team we want to be at the end of the year. And even when you're struggling and going through it, you can still act that way. So I think that's the most important thing that we need to get our mind back around. Yep. Okay.
I know you talk about Shakira and where she's at. Maybe you don't want to give timelines.
I literally don't have a timeline to give. Yes.
But for the other players, or any kind of give us kind of gauge on when we might see them back, how close they are to returning.
Getting closer. I would say we're in a matter of weeks. It's a little bit of a hard one because we have the West Coast trip thrown in, and that adds a dimension to it that's a little unpredictable with all that travel. But I'm hoping we start seeing some familiar faces back in the next couple of weeks. I couldn't even give you the exact order because these injuries are a little tricky, and somebody can make progress for a few days and have something set them back, and other ones can make some progress, kind of like Kira, honestly, that was surprising in a good way to see how much she was doing and moving the last couple of days. So we got that Commissioner's Cup break like normal schedule when we get back from that West Coast trip. So it wouldn't shock me to see somebody on either side of that break. That's about as specific as I can get. In the month of August, I'm hopeful.
So you don't anticipate him going on the trip?
That's a different story. We may actually travel. You guys don't get to hold me to this. I get to decide, but we may actually travel everybody that week, because we'll have a couple of days while we're out there that we could do some rehab type work with those guys that are with us. They've progressed enough we want to be able to actually get them on the court and have them around the group.
And then I also want to ask about the zone. That's obviously something that you guys have kind of implemented a little bit more over the past couple of games. What's been your philosophy on why you wanted to implement that a little bit more during the stretch? Obviously down a couple of players since Shakira is such a big part of the defense, but what has been your approach to why you want to bring it up?
We sprinkled it in early in the season. We've done it a couple different ways, but I think it's good to have a change up. that was kind of the philosophy at the start of the season, is you have something to change the rhythm of a game or spring for a few possessions here and there. A game like Dallas where, well, I mean, that was almost a different circumstance entirely if we were just trying to kind of survive there for a little bit. But I think it's an effective thing, teams that are heavy pick and roll teams or that they want to put you in rotations, you can kind of stay out of some of those situations. But mostly I like it as a change of pace. It's been fairly effective, I would say.
Just piggybacking on the defensive aspect for tomorrow, I guess a team like LA, what kinds of things do you want to exploit with what they do well offensively with the defense?
I think the things we have to account for is they've got really mobile posts who can all pop and roll and dive and shoot. And so you have to be able to handle that combination of things. Nneka and Azare, Nneka and Hamby and Azare, they've always got, they might move Carly Samuelson to the 4. So they've always got, versatile bigs. You can tell that's the strategy behind the roster. And then they've got guards who can really penetrate. Jordan Canada, as we talked about yesterday, is having a great year. Leisha looks good and is, making plays and probing with the dribble. So the paint game, you got to shut down the paint and you got to do it for drivers and their bigs who are going to be diving into space.
Any more in person?
Question from you in our Zoom setting.
If not, we'll go to Jen.
Hey, Eric. I saw on Twitter yesterday that you said that Elena might practice some today. Did she end up doing that?
No, she didn't join team practice today. I think over the weekend here, even though like tomorrow's a game day, we may set up some stuff for her to get a little work in. And then, Saturday probably won't be like a full team practice, being the day between games, or, not like a live practice, but I'm hopeful maybe she'll do some stuff. It's kind of like, where she's at in her rehab, of just trying to time the days that she needs with what our team is doing that day. It's a little bit tricky when we're not practicing live all the time. So her, Shakira, Ariel, as she progresses, Christy, we're going to have to get creative about how we get them some live work in between all these games that we're playing.
Got it. And, you mentioned seeing Shakira with your own eyes moving around. How much does that give you a boost, give her teammates a boost, just to see her active, for lack of a better word? Honestly,
I think it's a lift for the entire group to come see not only Shakira, but Elena and Ariel and Christy all on the court in some fashion. Sometimes it's just nice to have a bigger group. You know what I mean? You go on the road for that week and you feel like a kind of a small pack. It's nice to get some reinforcements mentally, emotionally, and then at some point actually joining the team, or rejoining the team.
And then just, you talked a little bit earlier about the kind of mindset heading into the weekend, but, with the practices that you've had, what are some things you've emphasized as far as like things you wanted to clean up or get better at this week?
There's technical things, defensively, being better connected. I probably said that a few times this year, but it's true. I think it's what most coaches probably spend a lot of their time working on over the course of the season. And then I think, things that aren't as X's and O's, like how we respond after mistakes, how we celebrate a teammate's success, the way we get on from one play to the next and we're ready to play at a dead ball. I would say those things, if you let those slip, they can have a bigger impact than just those plays.
And how do you work on those sorts of things? Like, I imagine there's not like a drill for that. Is that just talking about it? Is that something else you do to try to work on that?
I mean, you can drill it. I mean, you emphasize the next people getting on the court and being ready to go. Stuff like when the other team scores, not having a little powwow about what just happened, but getting it out of the net and jumping it in and running it back down. And, you've probably heard me say this a million times this year, but when you don't practice, sometimes those are the things that slip. You can maybe still score and you can still follow a scouting report, but your little habits that you can really dig into in the middle of a practice, slip if you're not careful.
Great. Thank you.
That's it, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We need the story about the shoes.
我
我就知道。When
I knew it.
when she came up with the idea, how it all came together, all
啥
that
时候有
stuff.
这个想法的？这个鞋是做之后怎么就变成这样的？
因为就是刚开始来这边的时候，有点就时间有点短，就没有充足的时间能够就是准备好鞋，然后带到这边来。
When I first signed and tried to get here, I don't have enough time to prepare for a shoe like that to bring it over.
然后等到这边之后，就是跟队伍然后相处，然后也就是感觉到了一个新的大家庭里，就是也非常的喜欢和爱这个家庭。
And after I got here, I got along with with my teammates really well, and I really like this big family feeling here.
然后就开始找国内的一个朋友，然后就画了这个，就是这个队的队标和我第一次来这边打球的一个小头像。
Yeah. And then I found a friend back home who can help me just paint the logo of the Mystics, and as well as a kind of an icon of just me playing on the shoes.
结果没想到我还没怎么发呢，大家全把我发出去了。
Yeah, I was gonna post it first, but I haven't done it. I forgot ahead of me.
Ruined it, my bad.
我把我给你回。
没事儿，没事儿。
All good.
Has she ever had that before?
你
Like
之前有这样的鞋吗？
这我第一次画，这
It's
就
my
是
first time.
first time.
对，
That's cool. And just one last thing, I'm just curious, how would she feel about her own play these days? You know, I know
这两天
more
对你自己的打法感觉
responsibility
怎么样？
with all the injuries. So how would she just
手里
feel
有
about
伤
the floor
病
herself?
然后你在场上感觉如何？
我觉得因为现在队伍处于一个困难的时期吧。
Yeah, we're facing a challenging situation right now.
我觉得作为我虽然是新秀，但是我觉得是队里的一份子，也应该承担更多的责任。
Yeah, although I'm a rookie, I'm part of the team, so I should take on more.
所以在接下来比赛自己也会打得更有侵略性一点。
So I'm gonna be more aggressive in the upcoming games.
然后希望通过各种方式吧，能够帮助到队伍。
And I hope I can help the team in whatever way that I can.
Well, you said being aggressive.
你说打
What
得更有
type?
侵略性一点，
Where's that aggressive come from? Offense,
sure,
defense, what do you see?
侵略性从哪儿来？是防守、进攻。
就攻防两端都包括一些球权争夺，都要比之前更加努力吧，然后更加的就是有针对性或者侵略性。
On both ends of the floor, and especially on 50-50 balls, I'm gonna be more intentional and aggressive.
What do you think the major keys, especially on defense, will be against a team like Los Angeles?
打洛杉矶这样的球队，在防守上的关键是什么？
我觉得我们还是要更加专注于我们自己的防守体系，
We need to be more focused on our defensive principles.
因为之前3场球我们的防守上还是出了一些问题，包括一些从个人防守和整体的防守轮转上。
So we had some slip ups in the last 3 games, whether it's individual defense or the overall team defense or rotations and stuff.
所以打他们，一个是我们会有针对性的去研究对手，然后其次就是我们要继续把自己的防守体系更加的完善。
So when we play them, we're gonna be more intentional and focus on how they play, as well as play to our defensive systems.
Jen?
Jen, how question?
Eric was just here talking about how, how
Eric,
great it is
sure.
to see players like
Sure.
Shakira back, kind of running around out there.
看到 Shakira 恢复了之后，在这儿来活蹦乱跳，还挺好的。
Just curious if that, how that feels to you, seeing those players make
队
progress.
回归了之后，感觉怎么样？
哎呦，我可太开心了！我每天都见着他的一句话都是 hurry up practice。
I bet it was Shakira. I said hurry up practice. That means hurry up to practice.
Sorry, Boki, can you say that one more time?
听你
My voice. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, she said, because I'm really happy to see Kira back.
哦，
And
好大
every time
声
I see Kira, I'll be saying to her, hurry up, practice, hurry up to practice.
好性感的声音呢。
That don't need any translation.
And then just one more question for me. Just curious how it's been for you playing next to a point guard like Tosh.
你跟 Tash 这样的空位在一起打球有什么感受？
感受挺好的，就是他能够就是发现对方弱点，不光是自己很有攻击性，然后其次他也能够通过他的吸引，然后给同伴带来一些机会。哦，sorry，Boki。
You're good, thank you. It's great playing alongside Tash, because first of all, she's very aggressive, and then she can draw defense and then share the ball with her teammates. And she also knows personnel really well to help us prepare.
Thank you.
Okay.
You guys got a little bit of a.
Did y'all already say who was in order? How you just gonna skip?
Oh, I just start. I'm sorry. Would you like to?
Yeah, I ain't raised y'all hand. Yeah, you just went. Okay, got it. Okay, got it.
Ready, so I just go.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Only one working on the deadline here, so.
You want some of my ass?
Nah, come on, Kareem. It's all you. Let's go.
Coming off the road, you know, you guys had a couple days, or I don't know how much rest you got, but at least one full rest day, it seems like you guys didn't come to the gym, and then you actually got some practice time.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, you know, what was kind of the focus or the feel of, you know, first off, did you get a little bit of rest? Second off, what
Oh, I
was
did.
the kind of focus of practice this week when you
Yeah.
finally got a chance to actually go over some of the things that you just didn't have time to?
Yeah.
last week or so?
So I did get rest. I did take a little break. And then second, like this practice, I think we were really focused on like the controllables and what we can do personally first in order to like help the team grow. So it was just like basically taking a look in the mirror and being like, all right, what can I do that can help the team get better in like one way? Because we can't fix all problems right then and there. So it's just like one thing that you can fix that's a controllable. And I think that was our main focus. And these past two practices have been really great. We've all been dialed in, focused, and working on like the little things that the coaches were like, this is something that you can change or you can fix. So I think we were definitely focused today and dialed in. Yeah.
Eric said before yesterday that, you know, he wants to make sure you guys can get back to carrying yourselves like the team that you guys want to.
Mhm.
I'm curious, what does that mean to you?
Shoot, first of all, carry yourself like a pro. I think that's the biggest thing. And then on top of that, been here for 6 seasons now, and I see how when I first came in, how the team like interacts or just loved on one another. I feel like we need to get back to that, because then it's easier to communicate in the heat of a moment in the game if we know it's coming from a good place. So I think, yeah, first is just being a good pro. I think it starts with that, and that comes from within.
Last thing for being just curious, spirits are sweet. I think this probably goes into that also, just team spirits.
I thought you was talking about the soccer team. I was gonna say, sir.
Like, where you go?
Yeah, I was gonna say, dang.
I just know it's been a rough stretch,
Mhm.
and it's both on the floor and not having people, and I'm just in the things that you were kind of just talking about, loving on each other and carrying yourselves as a pro.
Mhm.
How is the group as a whole, just the vibe, and are people able staying upbeat and not letting, because I know all that stuff can.
Yeah. No, I think we're all staying upbeat. We may be upbeat a little too much, maybe sometimes. Where it's just like, all right, we have to get focused. We have to dial in, and I think, yeah, we ain't hating on each other now. Yeah, write that down. Ain't no hating going on. But like we know, like basketball, and I mean how our team has been like the past couple years, like we're gonna hit adversity, and we have like injuries. So it's just like that next person has to step up. We need that next person. It's going to take everybody in that locker room for us to win a game. And, you know, it's just getting back to the basics, and it'll start on Friday again. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Always. Next, do. Yeah, I don't know. I look at this rate, y'all running the show. I'm just here. Who am I looking at? Yeah.
You have a friendship there, or how that kind of.
Yeah, so last year, yeah, it was definitely last year. We became like really close, good friends. So we just texting each other up, I guess, and just hang out or whatever. So he's in town now, so it's just all right, like, can I get some tickets? He's like, yeah, I got you, no worries. So like the whole team's gonna go out to the match today, and we're just gonna support him.
What was the city open environment for you? Like, have you been to tennis tournaments before?
Oh, yeah, I've been to tennis tournaments before, but this was the first one in DC that I've gone. And I mean, the crowd was rocking. Oh my goodness. They were loud for him. I loved it for him. Oh my goodness, it was just an amazing atmosphere. I'm just thinking about it. It was crazy. I feel like it's gonna be crazy again tonight. But yeah, it was awesome.
And then one on the court question for you.
Mhm.
I know coming back from your knee, that was a little bit of frustration at the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
With having the next woman up mentality that you guys have coming in, was that able to distract you a little bit from the recovery, knowing that like you needed to kind of step up and kind of have your focus be maybe a little bit elsewhere and less on your recovery through these last couple of weeks?
No. I mean, I keep saying it. For me, it's about accepting every single day. So I'm never trying to get too ahead or saying, oh, so-and-so is out. I have to change my game, or I have to change my mindset because I have to be 100%. If I'm not 100%, it's totally fine. I just have to accept that day. Some days I feel better than others, and it's just a part of the process and the recovery process for me. And I'm just taking it day by day, never getting too down on myself or too high. No problem. Oh, I know whose turn it is now. Yeah.
With LA having so many mobile posts,
Mhm.
people was talking about how they can just interchange in that position. What kind of challenge does that pose to the defense when they have so many moving parts like that?
I feel like this isn't the first team or the last team that we'll see that has mobile post players. So I think it's, first of all, us post players having each other's backs, knowing one's going to pop, the other one's going to die for sure. So we have to be able to communicate on the court in that moment of saying, hey, stay high, or, oh, I'll take yours down. So it's just us communicating and just having each other's back. I think that's the biggest thing.
And with obviously Shakira being out, Elena being out, how does that change what you all can do schematically because you have a smaller lineup?
I mean, technically, I think I'm only small. I'm not small, actually.
I mean,
Forget
smaller
that.
than 6'5", 6'6".
Okay. I mean, we've been playing a while with the small lineup and trying to play faster than the other team. Dallas, we were hoping to play big, but Queen got hurt in the first 15 seconds of the game. Was it 15 or 30 seconds? Yeah, 18 seconds of the game. Like, wow, wasn't expecting that one. So, so I think it's just about us. It's about us worrying about what we can control and who we have on the court, and knowing that we're gonna have mismatches and we have to exploit them. Oh, okay, you just here. Okay, got it.
Jen,
Just here for the ride.
Hey, Mai, how are you?
Hey, I'm great in here. This is great vibes.
You know, Eric was in here talking about how kind of nice it is to see with his own eyes, someone like Shakira, you know, running up and down the court after practice. How does it feel for you seeing, you know, her up and moving, other injured players like up and moving a little bit?
Yeah. So we were able to get on the court together, me and Kara, and Vitamins today, and I was just like, wow, like she still looks the same. Like it's like she didn't miss a beat, and I love that for her. And then to see like my other teammates out there, shooting, KT saying like she's having no pain now. So it's just like, it's amazing. I mean, once they get back, it's like, it's gonna be crazy.
And, just kind of on the flip side of that coin, the 3 players on hardship deals, they've been with you guys for a while now, like longer, than I feel like a lot of players on that sort of contract get to stay. Just curious how you think they've, helped the team on the court as well as off the court.
Yeah, definitely, first of all, like off the court, they're great people. So like when you just talk to them, like there's like a joy about them. And it's like you could talk to them about anything. It's like, I remember one time, I can't remember, someone asked me, like, have me and Myisha, or the vibe me and Myisha got, and I was like, well, I haven't really gotten a chance to talk to her. That trip, like me and her were talking like the whole time. So it's just like we're able to talk with each other and like be friends now outside of basketball. And then on the court, just stepping in and playing, like they're all playing right now. We all need them. So they're catching everything on the fly and doing the best they can. And they definitely came in clutch for us a couple times.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.